Hello students, welcome to Get Knowledge, your top destination for learning. Today we are going on an exciting journey through English literary history, focusing on the interesting Anglo-Saxon period. In this video, we will delve this important era using the helpful book Outline History of English Literature by William Henry Hudson. As we learn about this period, I'll share knowledge from both the book and my own study notes. You can trust that the information shared here comes from careful research and hard work, making learning fun and easy. So let's start our journey and discover the Anglo-Saxon period together. The Anglo-Saxon period, a significant era in English history, lasted from 450 AD to 1066 AD. Prior to this, the original inhabitants of Britain, known as Britons, had lived there since 55 BC, giving rise to the name Britain. In 410 AD, Germanic tribes, primarily consisting of Angles, Saxons, and Jutes, invaded Britain. The Angles and Saxons formed the majority, with the Angles being the dominant. This is reflected in the name England, derived from Angle, land. Ultimately, these three tribes coexisted with the native Britons. You can see all the points here which I have discussed with you. Let's have a look at the last point. Anglo-Saxon or Old English literature emerged as a result of coexistence of Britons and the three Germanic tribes. But what exactly is Old English? Simply, it's the language spoken by Britons and three Germanic tribes. In terms of literary characteristics, this period was marked by a lack of remarkable literary works. This was largely due to England being in a state of constant war with various invaders, including the Viking settlements. Now, students, keep this thing in mind, Viking settlements, because they were actually the seafarers who established communities in England. And these communities will lead to the development of Anglo-Norman period. As a result, there was little time for cultural and scientific advancements. The absence of a printing press and reliance on oral transmission also contributed to the scarcity of literary works, with many being lost over time. The literature of Anglo-Saxon period fall into two categories: Britons and Germanic tribes. Britons were primarily Christians, and Germanic tribe include pagans, those who don't believe on God. Let's discuss each of them in detail. Christians, the Britons, who were Christians, and Celts. Celts are the group of tribal societies in Iron Age and medieval Europe. Wrote poetry that often featured Christian themes and images such as the cross. Notable work from this period include the Exeter book in 10th century, containing 131 poems that describe everyday life and challenges faced by the native inhabitants. In contrast, the Germanic tribes wrote heroic poetry, with the most significant work being Beowulf, the epic poem, whose author is unknown, tells the story of hero's battle with a monster and his quest to save his country. Beowulf is considered England's national epic. Please keep this thing in your mind. It's a very important point and is the longest and most important poem of the Anglo-Saxon period, comprising 3,182 lines in the Novel Codex. The Exeter book is a treasure trove of Anglo-Saxon literature featuring a diverse range of genres: heroic, religious, personal, love, chronicle, sermons, and real poems. Some notable works from the Exeter book include The Battle of Maldon, The Ruin, The Wanderer, The Seafarer, The Wife's Lament, Husband's Message. And the religious works include The Dream of the Rood by Cynewulf. This is one of the oldest surviving English poem in the form of a vision or dream. Next we have Christ and Satan, an untitled work influenced by Cynewulf. Other notable works include the Cadmon's manuscript, in which the poetry include the Bible narratives. The Versailles book, which is a collection of poetry and prose. Novel Codex, also known as the Beowulf manuscript, contains Beowulf and other works. Witzit, early surviving poem that offer insights into Germanic. Second work is Dior, a 42-line poem that tells the story of a minstrel who has been replaced by a rival. The two important poets of Anglo-Saxon period are Cadmon and Cynewulf. Cadmon, considered the first poet of Old English literature, Cadmon received his poetic gift from God in a dream while he was sleeping. The Cynewulf, a prominent poet who wrote in religious themes mainly. Alfred the King made significant contribution to English literature, who educated his students, translated Latin work including the Bible into English, studied and promoted the Anglo-Saxon chronicles. The works of Anglo-Saxon poets include Cadmon, Cynewulf were collected and preserved in religious institutes after the 14th century. So that's all for today's journey through the Anglo-Saxon period. We explore the history, literature, and notable works of this fascinating era. Stay tuned for our next video where we will dive into the Anglo-Norman period, exploring how the Norman conquest of 166 shaped English literature and language. Thanks for watching Get Knowledge. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more educational content.